Hello, everyone. This is going to be another episode of the series Motivational Monday Live with your host, Aura Elena Martinez. And this week's episode is entitled, Your Vision is What Will Carry You Through. Now, before I get into today's topic, I'm going to introduce myself and share with you what motivated me to do this series. If this is your first time watching, once again, my name is Orlando Martinez, and I'm a self-discovery and empowerment coach. Almost got tongue-tied there. I'm telling you, I'm so jet-lagged. Helping women gain total clarity in their purpose so they can wake up to daily fulfillment and certainty. Now, purpose is not to be limited to a calling, because you could be living your calling and still not be living your most purposeful life. And that's because a purposeful life consists of so many things. It's about mental well-being, emotional well-being, spiritual well-being, physical well-being, and why not financial well-being? Because every part of you and your life matters, okay? And what motivated me to start this series, Motivational Monday Live, is the fact that Monday tends to be that day of the week that a lot of people are like, oh my God, another week. And now I got to go back to work. And now I got to do this and this and that, right? They're like, feel like they're dragging themselves, right, to do the things that they're doing. Now, let me tell you this. If that's you, even if that's you secretly and you're putting a face of, oh, I have a wonderful life. Oh, I am happy. But deep down, you're like frustrated because, oh my God, it's another day. Oh, same thing as usual, right? That is your sign. That is your big sign that something seriously needs to change, right? Let that be the sign that gets you thinking and moving and seeing what it is that needs to change in your life. And once again, this week's episode is entitled, Your Vision Will Carry You Through. It's what will carry you through, okay? And this topic that I'm sharing with you today is so relevant for each and every one of us, including myself, okay? Including myself. Because as I'm talking to you, I am so jet-lagged. I am so jet-lagged, right? And I calculated how much sleep I had between Friday night and Sunday, excluding last night. And it was a total of 6 hours. A total of 6 hours, right? I mean, last night I slept for 14 hours, but still, there are days that when I come back after a trip, right? When this happens, I feel something that I would say it's even worse than feeling frustrated. It's even worse than feeling anger, worse than feeling sad. And that is apathy. That's right. That's what I start to feel when I lack that much sleep, right? And this is why it's so important that you are mindful of what's going on within you, right? And that you are so connected with yourself to have this intimate, thank you for the likes, that you have this intimate and deep connection with yourself so that you can see what's going on within you, right? So that you can see what's going on. Because without this deep level of connection and awareness, you could lose yourself, right? And you could be so caught up in the web that you cannot even identify what is it that led you to where you are right now, okay? And I'm going to share this with you, and you're going to see how this is relevant to you. So stay with me, keep listening, because you're going to see how this is connected to you in your life. This is why when I started out in this journey, I started out as a wellness and life coach, and I was helping people get out of the sugar roller coaster that they will find themselves in and help them lose weight. And yes, I took courses on sleep. I got certified nutrition, also as a nutrition and wellness consultant, all of that. But I'm going to tell you this too. Through my work with my clients in that area of one's life, as well as my journey, I understood that there's so much more to this than just what we eat and how much we sleep and nutrition and all that. There's so much more that plays a big role in how we are and where we are today in our life. This is why I'm a big believer. And you will see once again how this relates to you in your life. Then when you're wanting to live your most purposeful life, every part of you and your life matters. Every part of you and your life matters. Okay? And if you're wondering what apathy means it's a lack of interest, lack of enthusiasm, lack of concern. Basically, it's indifference. It's indifference, right? And the reason why I say that apathy is worse than frustration is because at least with frustration, you could get curious to understand where that feeling is coming from, right? With anger leads you to some kind of action of some sort. Sadness, although it makes you not want to do anything, but if you lean into that sadness, you will start understanding what within you and your life needs to change. You're going to start understanding where is that coming from. But apathy, you just don't give a damn. Apathy, you just don't give a damn. I don't know about you, but that's a scary place to be. When you don't give a damn about anything, that's a scary place to be. And when I feel this way, my voice is monotone. Like you will know, like it's monotone. And mind you, I'm very lively and energetic and stuff. No, my voice is monotone, right? And my glance, my eyes, like I have like a blank stare. You can't even read what's going on. Like it's just totally blank, right? I literally don't care. And I can tell when this shift is occurring because of the close relationship that I have with myself, right? And this is why you having a very close relationship and being so connected with yourself is very important, because then you start becoming in tune and very sensitive to even the subtle changes that occurs within you. Okay. And like I said, I can tell immediately when this is happening, because of the close relationship that I have. But some people, they don't have that close relationship with themselves. And so they cannot tell when this shift is occurring. Okay. And when this happens, that's a dangerous place to be in, because you're just being at that point. You're just being, but not being in a good way, right? And you're not aware of what you're being and what you're doing and what you're emanating, right? And from that place, let me tell you this, it is impossible to create your life by design. And the reason why it's impossible to create your life by design is because creating the life that you want requires you to be conscious of who you're being, conscious of what you're doing, conscious of your inner world and your outer world. Okay? One of the things that will force you in a loving way to become more conscious of who you're being and what you're doing and what's going on in your outer and inner world is your vision. That's right, your vision. This is why this episode is entitled, Your Vision is What Will Carry You Through. It does help you carry you through. And if you're wondering, carrying you through what? Well, carrying you through frustration, lack of motivation, exhaustion, discouragement, when you plateau, right? When things seem to go wrong. It's your vision that will carry you through. Why do you think I'm able to do this, right? My vision. My vision is what carries me through the jet lag, apart from other things that I do. But a big part of it is also my vision, right? And I'm going to say the following, and I'm going to be blunt about it. And it's going to sound a bit rough, but it's coming out of love. And you're going to hear in a minute what it is that I mean. If you're not seeing, feeling, or sensing any kind of growth, and let me tell you this, even in the plateaus, right? If you pay close attention, even during those phases where you are plateauing, There is growth there that you're not seeing. There is growth there that you're not seeing. And this goes for anything that you're wanting to transform in your life, whether that is weight loss, health-wise, business-wise, finances, personal development, you name it. Trust, there will be plateaus in each of these areas. And the kind of growth that happens during this phase is not the kind of growth that you're seeking, but that is necessary for you to get whatever it is that you want. That's why those plateaus exist, but we don't really realize it. Plateaus in weight loss looks like the following. Say, for example, you go to weigh yourself and the numbers just do not change. They do not go down. In the meantime, while you're in that plateau phase, you're building muscles, right? You feel more energized. Even if the scale is not reflecting it, you're feeling more energized. You're developing healthy habits, right? Plateaus in health may look like the following. Say, for example, if it's high blood pressure and you're trying to bring the numbers down, and no matter how much you try to see how much is your blood pressure, the numbers are not going down. But in the meantime, while you don't have the physical evidence of the work that you're putting in, you're eating less salt, right? You're mindful of what you're eating. You're changing your diet. You're exercising now. So there are things that are occurring that are positive and are growth related, although you're not seeing the physical evidence of it. Get where I'm going with this? Plateaus in business looks like this. You're stuck making the same amount of money despite quote unquote everything that you're doing. But in the meantime, you're learning new skills, right? And this encourages you to see the things that you're not seeing or that you haven't seen all this time. You're developing yourself into a new person, right? There are things behind the scenes that are happening, even though you're not seeing that physical manifestation of whatever change you want to see in your business. Okay? Plateaus in finances can look like you being stuck in the same income bracket, or your money just isn't growing, right? But in the meantime, you're learning about other streams of income. You're educating yourself about money and new ways to bring in more money, right? A plateau in your personal growth may look like the following. Say, for example, if you are encouraged to develop yourself into a new person because there's something that you want, but it requires you to be a certain person, right? But you're not yet seeing what it is that you're wanting come true. It hasn't materialized yet. But in the meantime, there is a shift in your mindset, right? Your habits are changing for the better, right? You're making better decisions despite not seeing yet that which you want materialize. So as you can hear, right? During the plateau phase, there is growth that is occurring that may not be the growth that you were necessarily seeking, but yet it is very necessary. This growth is happening under the soil, as I like to say it, just like a seed. A seed, you plant it underneath, you plant it in the soil, it's in the dark, right? Thank you for the hearts. You're not seeing the plant. You're not seeing the tree. You're not seeing the fruit, but it doesn't mean that there are not things that are occurring underneath the ground. There are roots that need to form. There are roots that are taking place. And so there are roots that need to take place when it comes to your finances, when it comes to your business, when it comes to your weight loss, when it comes to changing your health, when it comes to your personal growth. Just because you're not seeing that tree, that plant, that fruit, does not mean that there are no roots or anything very important that are taking place. That root, and I didn't say this in the Spanish version, but I feel called to say it here. I don't know who here watching this needs to hear this. The roots are very important. Just because we're not seeing them on the outside does not mean they're not important. They're forming because they're absorbing nutrients so that plant, that fruit, that tree could grow strong. Woo, that was powerful there. That was powerful there. I wish I could have said it in the Spanish version because that was very powerful, right? I'm glad you love this, Tina. Love it. Yes. Allow the thing that you're desiring to take roots. Just because you're in the plateau phase does not mean that the necessary growth that needs to occur isn't happening. No, it is happening. Trust. You're like a seed. There's certain things that need to grow in the dark when no one is seeing. Even in the dark for you, because you're not seeing it, but there are roots that are taking place. And this is so important. This is so important. So the rough but loving thing that I have to say that I said earlier that I was going to say, but it's coming from a place of love. When you're not even in the plateau phase, so plateau phases are still important. Do not disregard the importance of the plateau phase. But if you notice that you're not even in a plateau phase, there's no growth whatsoever. You're not sensing it. You're not seeing it. You're not feeling it. Chances are that you have not made what you said that you want a priority and a must. It hasn't become a priority. It hasn't become a must. And when you do not prioritize, you don't materialize. Boom. A takeaway there. A takeaway. And I got to give it to you straight, right? Because for as long as you are delusional, and I say this with so much love, about what it is that you say that you want, you're going to keep yourself in that cycle of not having that which you want, not living the life that you want. And being delusional about what you say that you want looks like the following, okay? Say that you want a business, right? But you're not willing to invest the time, energy, and resources, money that it requires. I'm sorry to say this, but what do you expect from a business? How do you expect to have the business that you want with that mentality and lack of action? You're being delusional, right? If you say, for example, that you want to lose weight, but you don't want to stop eating all that fried food and all that sugary stuff, and you do not want to work out, are you kidding me? Or worse off, are you kidding yourself? Yes, what you don't prioritize, do not materialize. That's right, Marce. Yes. Yes. Right? The worst person to kid is yourself. You don't want to do that to yourself. Say the truth to yourself. For some reason, a part of you doesn't want, if it's that business, the business, or if it's that weight loss, the weight loss, right? When you notice that there is this big gap, right? And you're not doing what is required, there is some part of you that may not necessarily want what you say that you want, right? This is why as self-discovery and empowerment coach, I help people uncover who's really in the driver's seat of their life, because this is very important. And remove the layers that are getting in the way, because for as long as that layer is there, ain't no materializing anything, right? And I help them realign with that vision. It's so important that you align with your vision, because unless you're aligned with your vision, ain't nothing happening. Nothing is happening, right? It is not enough to have wants and desires. Those have to become a vision. And a vision is something that you can see, feel, touch, and smell, even though it's not in your physical reality, right? With a vision, there is a knowing, right? A strong determination, a healthy dose of stubbornness that transcends logical, that transcends physical reality and what people say and think. And that's why I say that your vision will help carry you through. This is why a vision is important, because the reality is you will lack motivation. It happens. There will be moments that you're not going to be motivated. Even the most successful people are not always motivated. Heck, I'll be honest with you, I was not motivated today. I was not motivated today. I felt like doing nothing. I felt like doing nothing, right? I woke up at 12:44 p.m. today. That's how jet lag I am, right? I could have watched TV all day. I'll be very honest with you. I could have watched TV all day. And why didn't I watch TV all day? Because of my vision. This is the reason why I'm here doing Motivational Monday Live, because of my vision. I can feel, sense, touch, see that aura that I aspire to be so much that it is her that's carrying me through. See how powerful a vision is? A vision is very powerful. It's very, very powerful. And the reason why a vision is what's going to carry you through is because, number one, a vision, a very clear vision is what helps you move out of that crossroads that you may find yourself in. What do I mean with this? You know, those moments where you feel like you have one foot in the old version of you and the other foot in the new version of you, right? Where you could just go either way at this point. A vision is what helps take your foot out of the old version of you, stuck in whatever life you don't like, and move on to the new version of you that is required of you so that you can live out your desire. One of the things that I've noticed is that the reason why there are some that they yo-yo with what they say that they want is because they are at a crossroads with one foot in the old version of themselves, living the life that they don't like, and the other foot in the version, the new version of them that is required in order for them to live the life that they want. A clear vision helps remedy that. A clear vision helps remedy that. This is why a vision is not, it's not a luxury. A vision is a must. Boom, another takeaway. A vision is a must. Another reason why a vision is what helps carry you through is because, number two, a vision helps you face your fears. Franklin D. Roosevelt said the following: courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the assessment that something else is more important than fear. Whew, wise words. Wise words. I want you to know this. Fear is inevitable. When you're going after something, you will feel fear. That's normal. You're going to fear the unknown. You're going to fear the big steps that you have to take. You're going to have fear, right? Say, for example, when you're wanting to start a business, there will always be that fear of investing, right? Fear of putting money on credit cards, fear of debt, right? And so when you lean into that fear, you're going to come up with all kinds of excuses. But the part of you that's coming up with the excuses is the fear, right? This is why working through those layers is very, very important. You're going to come up with all kinds of excuses as to why you cannot invest. And you're even not going to see the value of investing in what's in front of you. But that's the fear, right? But when you have a clear vision, what you aspire is greater than the fear. This is also why a vision is so important. This is why having a clear vision is essential for you to live your most purposeful life and to live a life by design. Without a vision, you give into your fear. Okay? This is how you find yourself feeling frustrated a year later because you're like, oh my God, but why is my life the same? Why hasn't anything changed? Well, I can almost guarantee, and I'm going to say this very lovingly, that you haven't made what you said that you want a priority. And what you don't prioritize, you don't materialize. I say this with so much love. Do not let the plateau phases fool you. Don't let it fool you. Sometimes we stop ourselves because we're like, oh my God, but I'm not seeing I just plateaued and I'm not seeing things move. But remember what I said earlier. A seed, you're not going to see immediately the plants, the tree, the fruit. That's because first it goes through a phase where it seems like it's plateauing because it has roots that it has to form. Those roots are very important because the roots help absorb the nutrients so that fruit, that plant, that tree could be strong. A vision is so important. It's more important than you can possibly imagine. The third reason why a vision will help carry you through and why it's so important is because a vision gives you purpose and direction. That's right. A vision gives you purpose and direction. A vision gives you purpose, meaning that everything that you do it with a reason. There's a meaning behind it. It's not like you're mindlessly doing things. You know how many times we mindlessly do things, right? You're not just letting days pass by you. And it's when you do things mindlessly, that's when it feels like days just pass you by. And then you wonder, okay, where did the week go? Where did this go? But when you have a purpose, when you have a vision, thank you for the heart. There's a reason behind everything that you do. You don't just let the days go by. You don't just do anything, whatever. No, everything that has a meaning to it, has a purpose to it. And that's when life starts feeling juicy and fulfilling, right? And because you have a purpose, by default, you will have direction. I want you to remember that. Okay? Again, there's meaning behind the things that you do. You will be fueled to do what it is that you have to do, rather than feeling forced to do what it is that you have to do. If you notice that it is hard for you to do the things that you quote unquote must do, and so you force yourself to do it, that's because you're not fueled to do what it is that you say that you must do, right? And so most likely you do not have a vision, because a vision provides you with that fuel. See this? I made it a non-negotiable to do Motivational Monday Live. I'm so jet lagged. It would have been easier for me to say, you know what? I'm sleeping. I'm just sleeping because I'm jet lagged, right? But this is a must for me, not a must in terms of I feel forced to. It's a must because I feel fueled to, because I have a vision. This is why a vision is very important, because those things that you feel forced to do, you no longer feel forced to do, you feel fueled to do, which is very, very different. Behind fuel, there will be passion. This is why this is so important. This is why this is so important, okay? And I want you to remember this. No vision equals everything and anything goes. This means that you go in the direction that life flows, even when that flow isn't a good flow. You don't want to do that. I'm going to give you an example. I remember in my decade of my 20s, there was a period of time where I just felt angry for no reason. I was like, why am I so angry? And then I noticed that the moment I stopped watching television at night, I felt a whole lot better. I felt a whole lot better. And what I didn't realize then was that the fact that I was watching television at night, watching the news at night, it was programming me subconsciously to focus on the negative, to view the negative. I want you to get this. Television is a way to program you mentally. This is why you have to be mindful of what you're watching. But it's not just television, social media. It's also a way that you mentally program yourself. This is why last week I spoke about you are what you surround yourself by, because it's the truth. Your surrounding does not just consist of people that you are surrounded by. It's also what you're watching on TV. It's also who you follow online, what you're watching online. Those things, they start programming you mentally. And it happens in such a subconscious way. It can brainwash you to start thinking a certain way. This is why you got to be mindful what you're watching, what you're listening to. You got to be very mindful of that, okay? And the people who are truly living the life that they so desire and love, they're not going with the flow of everyone else. I'm going to tell you that much. They don't go with the flow of everyone else. This is very important. There are times that the reason why we don't live the life that we want is because we go with the flow of how other people live, even though it's not in alignment with who we really are. This is why it's so important that you know who you are. This is why it's so important that you work on yourself, that you do the inner work, that you peel those layers. Because it's when you do that, that you're able to live your most authentic life. This is going to take me to my next point, right? And why it's so important that you have a vision. And how is it that it helps you carry you through? And it's that a vision helps you have a strong sense of self. Ooh, a vision helps you have a strong sense of self. And I'm going to tell you this. When you have a vision that requires you to be very different from your environment and from who you are currently, there will be those that will not understand you. Oh yeah, there will be those that will not understand you. You will be criticized, right? There are people that are going to call you strange, odd, weird. This is why you need a clear vision and do the inner work necessary so that none of this phases you. So that none of this phases you. The people that truly do not care, that they do not care, and they're able to step powerfully into who they really are, they do the inner work necessary. They do the inner work necessary. The more you know who you are and you know where you're heading, the less you care about what others have to say about you. I'm going to repeat that again because this is so valuable. The more you know who you are and where you're heading, the less you care what others have to say about you. Okay? This is why in the TED Talk that I gave last year, I said, you have a vision that is unique to you, that perhaps others are not going to understand because they're not meant to understand, because it wasn't placed within them, it was placed within you. This is why you getting to the core of who you are, working on your confidence levels, you working on you being the you that you really are is essential. Is essential to your happiness, is essential to your authenticity, is essential to your success. Okay? And I'm also going to say this, words of wisdom here, what I'm about to share. When someone talks bad about someone else, pay close attention, not to what they say about the other person, but about what they're saying about themselves. Okay? This is something that we ignore many times, and it's so important. This is why if someone that I do not know very well, it's a different story if I know that person and I trust that person and I know their character, is a different story. But if I don't know a person very well and I see them talk about, oh, and another thing too, even if you know the person very well, still pay attention. Still pay attention. And I'm going to tell you why. Because how we speak is a reflection of who we are and our values. Boom. Another bomb truth. I get very weary, I think it's the word. I'm not even speaking right, I guess. I'm making up my own words. This is why I'm very careful when I see someone talk very, very badly about other people, because it makes me wonder what they're going to say about me, right? It tells me more about their character than what they're saying about the other person. How we speak is a reflection of who we are and our values. I want you to remember that. People that are living their best life, they don't have time to gossip and talk bad about other people. They don't have time for that. They don't have time for that. You want to elevate your life and your vibe? Start surrounding yourself by those who speak about their goals and what they want out of life. And they speak beautifully about themselves and others. And they speak beautifully about life. That they are constantly working on themselves. Those are the people that you want to surround yourself by. And the reason why I recommend this is because these are the people that will inspire you to be your best self. These are the people that will inspire you to be your best self, right? That's how we elevate our life. That's how we elevate our vibe. That's how we improve our overall health. That is how. Okay? So when you notice that your life, things are not changing and all that, you gotta pay attention to all these things. All these things matter. You gotta have a very clear vision. It's not enough to just have desires. It's not enough to just have wants. And I spoke about wants before in another episode. What we want, we just do when it's convenient. We don't do it. It's not a must. It's not a must. And even desires, if we're not careful, we only do it when it's convenient. But a vision is much more bigger than that. It's much more stronger than that. It's much more solid than a want and a desire. It's much more solid. It's who you are. It's who you are, right? And so this is very important. And it is my desire, really, that you allow this all to sink in and that you start incorporating this into your life. That you make it a priority to really have a clear and solid vision for yourself, for your life. This is a must. This is a must. Okay? And if you are ready to step into your most purposeful life, you are ready to gain clarity as to your vision, you are ready to transform the blocks and turn them into stepping stones that gets you closer into who you are. You are ready to remove those layers that are not allowing you to be your best self. You are ready to realign yourself to that vision that you have. Then I'm going to highly recommend that you schedule a clarity call. You can always message me to do that. And in that call, we're going to assess where you are now, where you desire to be, what is required to close that gap, how I'm able to help you. Because you don't need to be stuck. You don't need to be going in circles. You don't need to be. Every part of you and your life matters. I want you to remember that. And I'm going to ask that you please share this video with other people. You never know who in your surroundings need to hear this message. You never know who can be transformed because of this message. So share this message with other people. Share it. And with this said, it is my desire that you implement everything that is shared here. And it is also my desire that you live life to the max, the way you are destined to live. And until next time, bye for now.